So I'm curious if you've ever heard of this term before, a placebo, or the placebo effect. So a placebo is nothing more than a dummy treatment. Sometimes that's in the form of a sugar pill that we give to some of the treatment groups in order to make sure that we are treating them all the same. Because the reality is, amazingly enough, people will respond to any kind of perceived treatment. Oops, I spelled that. I got the E and the R backwards. Fix it. So as long as they think they're being treated the same and given a pill, there's a possibility that they will get better. The question is, do the people getting the real pill get more better? And hopefully you saw that in the Dr. Confound video, where he was digging around in his linty old pocket looking for the pill for person A. And of course, that didn't work out so well. So I want to make sure that in my experiment I'm doing a comparison. So in my comparative experiments, I start with my units. Those are the WHO. And then I put them into treatment groups. So they get treatment, either real or dummy, aka a placebo. And then I observe what happens. So I will pick some measurements and notice, did they get taller, did they get stronger, did they get sicker, did they get better? So I observe the results. And I do some analysis on that. I compare. And of course, in order to control the experiment, I want to use that control group. And that control group is people who get the placebo, who get placebo. Now, it could also be that they get basically some old treatment. In other words, I want to compare my new diet pill with the old diet pill to see if the new diet pill is in fact better. So I know that the old diet pill, you know why? Because I did research on it, works better than a sugar pill. So now I want to see if my new treatment works better than my old treatment. So I might not use a placebo. Instead, my control might be whatever the old treatment was. Very important. So the 3 principles of experimental design. Very important. You should put a whole bunch of asterisks next to this, because I will ask you this question over and over and over again. And of course, on multiple choice, I'll throw in a different C word or some different R words just to make sure you know the difference. But the vocab is also very important, so you don't have to just know the words, you have to know what they mean. So the control. I'm doing a controlled experiment because I want to control for lurking variables. We'll talk more about those later. Randomization, I use chance to assign individuals to groups, and that's exactly what we were doing sort of, or starting to practice the beginnings of, when we were selecting our random rectangles, and we moved from picking our favorites to trying to be unbiased to being unbiased by use of a calculator. We will probably actually use a table of random digits instead of the calculator because it makes our results all be the same. And then replication is, I don't want to do the experiment on just 2 people, one gets placebo and one gets regular, because that's not going to give me really enough results. And remember, that's a lot of variation with just one person. What if I chose 2 other people? There might be a big difference between those 2 other people when I did the comparison versus the first 2 where there might have been a little difference between them. So I want to try and use as many people in my experiment as I can, just to reduce that variation. Now, the goal is, very important, that I want results that are statistically significant. In other words, I get an, oh my gosh, something must have been at work because there's no way that could happen just by chance.